The pale amber ring inside my drinking glass bothered me more than the drink itself. Under the range light, it looked like evidence. But evidence of what? I had been judging the whole experiment by color. Darker meant stronger, and stronger meant better. That's an easy mistake when a kitchen ritual comes with a dramatic promise. The question became personal because I was not looking for a fancy flavor. I wanted to wake with a clearer head, steadier energy, and more confidence that my body was still responding to me. When you're past 60, a small nightly choice can begin carrying the weight of every private worry you have not said aloud. At 83, I still carry my own groceries from the car, sort them on the counter, and take the long way back to the mailbox when the weather is decent. That does not make me a medical authority. It means I pay attention to which habits help me live capably and which ones merely make a good story. My first attempt was simple and foolish. I kept making the mixture darker. I added more, waited longer, and assumed the burn on my tongue proved something useful was happening. One morning my stomach felt unsettled, yet I almost called that sensation a sign that it was working. But the ring could not tell me which compounds had moved into the water, how much was there, or what any of it could do inside an older body. A plant is not one molecule, water does not pull out everything equally, and a household preparation is not automatically the same as an extract used in research. The answer depends on a distinction most kitchen videos skip, and that distinction changes both the benefit and the risk. For 3 years, I slept 3 feet away from my wife, and it felt like 300 miles. She'd fall asleep first. I'd lie there staring at the ceiling, wide awake, feeling like a roommate in my own marriage. I thought something was wrong with me. It wasn't weakness, and it wasn't just age. Here's what no one ever sits a man down to explain. This isn't about willpower. It's about specific systems in your body quietly losing steam year after year while nobody tells you it's even happening. The pills my doctor handed me gave me headaches, made my chest feel tight, and honestly, they made me feel like I needed a pill just to feel like a man. I wasn't willing to live like that. There's a gentler way to bring those systems back, without any of that. At 83, my wife and I aren't roommates anymore. I'll show you exactly what changed it in this video, and if you want the simple support I personally use, there's a free presentation linked in the description below. Every night clove water gives you a mild, unstandardized infusion of biologically active clove compounds and can support a healthier evening pattern. But human research has not shown that this homemade drink directly improves circulation, erections, sleep, or the prostate. That is more encouraging than calling it merely flavored water, and more honest than promising an overnight medical effect. What changed for me was not a sudden erection or a vessel I could feel opening. I stopped asking the glass to prove everything and gave it one small, defensible job inside a larger evening routine. That shift from miracle test to useful role is the transformation the drink can honestly support. A clove bud contains aromatic compounds, with eugenol being the best known. Warm water can carry aroma and some water-compatible material out of the bud, but it does not turn the glass into clove oil or a standardized clinical extract. Those are 3 different exposures: a mild household infusion, a concentrated essential oil, and a manufactured extract with measured composition. Here is the human evidence in one clear block. A 13-person uncontrolled pilot used a standardized water-soluble clove extract for 30 days and reported favorable glucose changes, but measured neither circulation nor sexual function. In a separate metabolism study, healthy volunteers absorbed oral eugenol and excreted it mainly as conjugates and metabolites within 24 hours. Together, those studies show that clove-derived compounds can enter human biology. They do not tell us the dose in my glass or prove an overnight benefit. The experimental plausibility is also real. Eugenol relaxed rat arteries through endothelial signaling, relaxed isolated human umbilical vein tissue in the laboratory, and clove oil or eugenol relaxed erectile tissue and improved erectile responses when delivered directly to diabetic rats. Those models involved purified compounds, isolated tissue, intravenous exposure, or direct injection, not an older man drinking clove water. That is the boundary I keep. The science gives us a credible reason for interest, including vascular and erectile tissue signals. It has not completed the chain from a few buds in warm water to a measured improvement in human circulation or erections. Once I understood that, the glass stopped feeling like an examination I could pass or fail. I could sit at the kitchen table, notice the warm clove aroma, and decide whether the drink actually helped me end the evening more calmly. If it replaced something sweeter, fit my fluid timing, and caused no irritation, it had earned a place. If I disliked it, I could leave it alone without imagining that I had rejected the secret to getting older well. That freedom of judgment put my own voice back into the routine. The defensible benefit has two layers. One is modest culinary exposure to clove compounds with genuine experimental activity. The other is substitution. If a mild, unsweetened clove drink replaces a sugary soda, a heavy dessert drink, or an alcoholic nightcap, then the routine may remove something that was working against sleep, blood sugar management, weight, or blood pressure. The American Heart Association treats diet quality, sleep, blood pressure, blood glucose, activity, and other factors as parts of cardiovascular health. That is a system, not a spice trick. Think of a key ring. One key may open the back door perfectly, but that does not mean it starts the car, opens the safe, and unlocks every office downtown. Clove water can be one useful key for making an evening routine less sweet and more deliberate. The drink may contain a small and variable amount of active plant chemistry, but it is not a measured vascular intervention or an erection switch. Here's how I keep it in its proper place. I use a mild culinary preparation, not essential oil. I do not chase a darker color, a stronger burn, or a larger amount. I make it early enough that a full glass is not sitting in my bladder right before I lie down. If nighttime urination is already a problem, moving any drink earlier can matter more than what spice is in it. I also avoid adding sugar or honey simply because the drink tastes medicinal. Once the glass becomes sweet, the substitution advantage shrinks. If I dislike it without sweetness, I take that as useful information. A habit does not become healthy merely because I force myself to tolerate it. And I never swallow clove essential oil. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases notes a sharp difference between low concentration uses and large ingestions of eugenol-containing oil. Overdose reports include serious liver and kidney injury. A small vial can look harmless because it came from a plant, but concentration changes the rules. If you take anticoagulants, medicines for blood pressure or diabetes, or you have liver or kidney disease, a regular concentrated spice routine deserves a conversation with a pharmacist or clinician. The same is true before surgery. I'm not telling you to stop a treatment or to fear normal seasoning. I'm telling you not to turn a kitchen experiment into an unmonitored supplement program. Now let me build the useful stack around the glass. The first support is timing. I finish the drink well before bed, then dim the kitchen and stop grazing. That gives the ritual a clear job. It closes the eating window instead of opening another one. The second support is sleep consistency. I keep roughly the same bedtime and wake time. Healthy sleep belongs in cardiovascular health for a reason. A spicy drink cannot compensate for 5 hours in bed, bright screens at midnight, or untreated sleep apnea. The third support is movement earlier in the day. A walk after dinner when it is safe for me does more honest work for my routine than doubling the number of buds in a glass. Activity, blood pressure care, glucose management, and sleep all connect to the systems that support energy and sexual function. The clove aroma may mark the routine, but it does not carry the whole load. There is another question men often hide inside this title. Will I wake with a firmer erection? No study of nightly homemade clove water has answered that. Erections depend on vascular, nerve, hormonal, psychological, and medication-related factors. A beverage can fit a healthier pattern, but new or persistent erectile difficulty is worth discussing with a clinician because it can travel with other health issues. The same caution applies if the drink causes burning, nausea, mouth irritation, rash, or unusual bleeding. Stop the experiment and ask for qualified advice. If you have chest pain, shortness of breath, fainting, or sudden symptoms, a spice video is not the place to troubleshoot them. These days, I can spend an afternoon restoring the loose handle on an old wooden toolbox, then sit down to dinner without feeling that my evening owns me. I value that calm competence more than the thrill of a dramatic claim. It comes from arranging several ordinary supports so they stop fighting one another. Imagine Walter, a composite of several men I have known, standing at his refrigerator at 10:30 each night. His usual choice is a large, sweet tea. He hears about clove water and starts with an overloaded jar so dark it looks like varnish. By the third evening, he hates the taste and quits. The useful change is not persuading Walter that the jar failed because he lacked faith. It is shrinking the ritual to a mild culinary drink, moving it earlier, and using it to replace the sweet tea. He also mentions his persistent erection changes and rising blood pressure readings at his next appointment instead of assigning both problems to age. Nothing theatrical happens the first night. That is the point. Over time, Walter has a cleaner boundary after dinner, less sugar in the evening, and a real conversation about the symptoms he was avoiding. The clove drink is helpful as a mild source of active plant compounds, a cue and a substitute. The exact contribution of each cannot be measured in his kitchen. His medical care and broader habits do the jobs they are qualified to do. That is the identity I wanted back for myself. Not the man hunting for the strongest jar, but the man who can enjoy a ritual without surrendering judgment to it. I can appreciate the warm aroma, the small pause, and the signal that the kitchen is closed. I can also admit what the glass has not proved. The stack is modest but coherent. A mild, unsweetened preparation, earlier fluid timing, consistent sleep, daily movement, and appropriate medical evaluation. Each part has a different function. None needs a fairy tale to be worthwhile. If you decide to try clove water, let the positive outcome be a safer, simpler evening pattern. Keep whole culinary cloves separate in your mind from concentrated oil. Keep a pilot study on an extract separate from proof about your glass. And keep a pleasant ritual separate from a diagnosis. That kind of honesty does not weaken hope. It gives hope somewhere solid to stand. At 83, I would rather have one small habit I understand than 10 powerful-sounding promises I cannot verify. Your erections don't disappear just because you got older. They fade when the systems behind them, blood flow, nitric oxide, hormones, energy, and recovery, slowly stop getting the support they need. Ignore that long enough, and it becomes harder to reverse. That's why I take this concentrated formula every morning. Not one ingredient trying to fix everything, but several working together to support circulation, energy, and drive from the inside out. It's a natural, doctor-backed protocol designed to support pathways your body already knows how to use. No prescription, nothing artificial. Stronger, present, confident again. And unlike the pills I tried, I didn't feel disconnected from my own body. No headaches, just steady, gradual change. My wife noticed before I even said a word. The presentation is linked right below this video. It won't replace your doctor or a healthy lifestyle. It's simply there to support your body. At 83, my wife and I aren't roommates anymore, and it's not too late for you. Tell me in the comments what your current nighttime drink is and what you would realistically replace it with. Subscribe for more clear, experience-based conversations about men's health after 6.